bit tonight. But going on to the next speaker, as we gear up here, Warren Edson, the leading MMJ lawyer, represents many dispensaries, two-time winner, Normal Legal Committee Scholarship, and board member, over 1,000 trials. He's a Red Sox fan. I had to put that in here. And let's welcome Warren Edson.
3-2 Sox in the ninth, by the way. But I got invited here tonight by JJ, gave me a call a while back, said, hey, Warren, can you come out? This is a really interesting thing. You can talk with this crowd. The whole industry's going to be here. Awesome. I said, JJ, what are we going to be talking about? And I hear, oh, Rob's going to talk about 1284. And Matt's going to talk about his experience over the last 6 months. And I'm assuming Mason will talk about drugs and alcohol, which is always fun. And JJ tells me I need to talk about taxes. So thanks a lot, JJ, for a very exciting topic tonight. And he even spiced it up by allowing me to talk about zoning. So, yeah, I've got 11 minutes and 13 seconds to bore you to tears, okay? And I think I can do it. First of all, taxes, you need to pay them, okay? You are now a real business, and a lot of people now know it, and you need to act like it, and you need to pay your taxes, okay? And part of what the Gold Domers gave y'all is removing this caregiver requirement. Okay, and this wellness service thing. And I get a lot of people through my office that say, oh, great, maybe I'll still do a little bit of that marketing, or if my patients really want it, but I don't have to do that anymore, okay? Please, go quickly talk to your CPA or accountant, okay? The tax deductions in this industry come from the CHAMP case. And I'm going to utter the awful word, and hopefully they don't come drag me away, but CHAMP stands for Californians Helping Alleviate Medical Pain. Okay? That's a case out of California, and that's about taxes. And it's a federal case about taxes. And the whole tax break part of this, you deducting your necessary and ordinary cost of business, that whole thing comes about not through the sale of weed, because that's illegal federally, but through the wellness services and the offering of the wellness services. So guess what? You take the wellness services out of the equation, you lose a dramatic amount, if not all, of your tax deductions. Okay? So pull the case, 27 pages, it is boring as hell, but it is amazingly clear because most of it is lists of literally what you can deduct. I mean, this federal judge had a $425 an hour attorney sitting in a dispensary with a tape measure, literally measuring out each little room and coming back with a map saying this room did this and this room did that, but this evil room is where the bud bar is. So we can deduct the rent for all these other places except for this room that's that bud bar. Okay? That still applies. Keep that in mind. Please, please, please talk to your tax people about that, and just don't flush that stuff away. Don't create a new business model somewhere else where you're leaving that out. And that's just on a pure evil business attorney sense. That's not even getting into the marketability of this, the fact that patients really need this, the fact that it's pretty cool to see patients oftentimes, some of these people that wouldn't have gotten a massage over their dead body, all of a sudden finding out that this is something that actually works and taking advantage of that, okay? So please don't let that drop out. So that's wonderful tax lecture in whatever, 5 minutes. Now, let's talk about zoning, okay? Because guess what? Just like the tax issue, you are really now a real business. And you are manufacturing a product for commercial sale as a grower. Or you are making retail sales to the public as a dispensary owner. Or as an edible maker, you are making food that you are going to sell and serve to the public. Okay? You have to follow rules, just like any other business. And I know that sucks, but it now has to happen. Okay? I mean, I can't really, in my house in Denver, in 5 Points, manufacture jack in my house if I intend to go retail sale it. I can't make penicillin in my basement and walk down to Walgreens and say, hey guys, I made 1,000 tabs of penicillin. Would you guys sell this for me? I mean, they think I was nuts, yet it's been a common business practice, okay? And now you have to pull permits and stuff. Because if you don't do that, the gold domers, or actually these guys, I guess, aren't going to give you permits. Like the ones you need to sell the weed, okay? You need to do this stuff. Now, one of the issues you guys all got to jump on top of is this moratorium thing, okay? July 1st, July 1st, July 1st. We don't have many days left, but it sure appears, despite the wording on the bottom of page 2, which appears to indicate that the moratorium only applies to the dispensary side of the industry. If you flip to the very next page, unfortunately, you don't even have to flip to page 77 or whatever the hell. You just have to flip to page 3. And the bottom of page 3, the moratorium appears to apply to all you folks. So if you don't have a foot in the door in this industry through local approval before the 1st of July, and by that I mean not on the 1st of July, folks. Don't wait until the 1st of July. That doesn't work, okay? You need to get your foot in the door now. You need to do that through a local dispensary license or permit, whatever the hell the town's deciding to do, or the county. You need, if the county or city does not have a specific grow license, okay, you need to pull something else. And it needs to be weed specific. You can't be hiding this, because come July, when you go to apply with these guys for the other permit, they might say, hey, you didn't have local approval. But as I know a lot of you I've seen here tonight know, you go down to Denver, you pull a plant husbandry use permit, you have them let them know it's an industrial or agricultural, and they put that nice big green, that's cute by the way, the fact that Denver's medical marijuana stamp is green in color, you know, they put that nice big green stamp right on your plant husbandry use permit, and it says medical marijuana. So I'm thinking it's going to be real hard for them to try to come back to Rob, to me, to any of these other attorneys in the room later and say, hey, your guy didn't have local approval. Yes, and it's this plant husbandry use permit thing from the city, and it says medical marijuana. That's local approval. And so, you know, plant husbandry use permit is literally a use permit to make plants, okay? And it appears to be different than a nursery license, which is a license to grow plants. As we get farther out into the sticks, it appears that sometimes the counties just revert back to a nursery license, but here in Denver they appear to want us to be pulling plant husbandry use permits, and particularly in some of the cities. The one thing that might bite some of you in the ass with the use permit is you might be in an industrial zone building, you might be in an agricultural zone building, but you might be in a floodplain. That's not good. That will be problematic if you try to pull that permit. I guess they don't want the cloning chemicals washing into the river or whatever the gist is. But please, 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 you need to get local approval, okay? Because what's going to happen? Allegedly, come September, somebody might walk in the medical marijuana center, because it's not a dispensary anymore as of, I guess, yesterday, might walk into the MMC door and say, okay, you guys got 20 strains, where the heck did it come from? And that means you have to have a follow-up license that applies to an OPCO, optional premises cultivation operation, or you're in one of those cities that allows you to grow in-house. But you can't say, from Joe's basement over in 5 Points. You can't say, I don't know. You can't say California. It's got to come from here. And it's got to be identified. And, you know, for the folks in this room, the next couple months might not be a whole lot of fun, but for a whole lot of patients in this state, what's there going to be realistically going to be? There's going to be a fire sale on unidentified weed. Because come September, it's got to all have a home, and it's going to be all licensed, or you're going to lose your license. So, yes, rough few months for the out-of-state industry trying to do business here. But the patients is going to be highly entertaining. And then come September, it hits the fan, and somebody's going to walk in, and it's going to be identified. And so that means, like, the